What, wherefore?
You think you win this on Saturday night in front of 94,000 people and they're going to want you to retire?
But it's not what other people want, is it? It's what I want. I do it for the fans, and that's why I'm doing this fight here at Wembley. One good farewell, goodbye. And that's it. This stone is out of blood. I'm all done. I've had 20 years as a boxer, and that's it. But that's it. I don't want the celebrity lifestyle. I don't want to be a movie star or anything like that. I just want to be left alone. I don't want to be tortured by people. I just want to be left alone, switch off the Instagram, switch off the lot, walk away from that famous lifestyle. I can't stand it. And that's the gospel truth. I've no interest in it. Not at all. I'm here to do this one last fight, and that's me. I'm out. I'm out for good. Goodbye forever.
Yeah.
Those are the words of Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, as he states that this is his last fight. He states that this stone is out of blood. You heard the man. He's tired of being tortured by the fans, by the people. He wants to cut off the Instagram, the social media, and he doesn't want the Hollywood lifestyle. And this is it. I'm walking away forever. Let me counterpunch people. First of all, I don't believe that. And if this is true, this is based off of prior information, prior intel that we have received from Alexander Usyk. We know that Alexander Usyk will be there ringside. He will be there attending. He will be there observing. He will be there reporting Tyson Fury. Okay? Of course, Tyson Fury is the favorite. I think that Alexander Usyk believes Tyson Fury is the favorite due to the fact that of who Alexander Usyk will be there to see. That tells you everything. Tyson Fury. And I feel that Tyson Fury, if it's true what he's saying, I feel that he's knowing or learning about other possible challenges, and I don't think he's liking the idea of doing that. Okay, see, I want people to understand, like he said, I've been doing this 20 years. Well, you've been a pro, but you haven't been active for 20 years. You took 3 years off. Okay, 17 is still a long time. So I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining. But when you're dealing with a career or you're in a position, this only shows me, if this is true, which I doubt it's true, but it shows me that Tyson Fury can't stand the pressure of constantly taking on the best or constantly taking on the next top challenge. Okay, let me bring you guys back to 2015. 2015, Tyson Fury took the jab away from Klitschko, because with Klitschko, everything started with the jab, right? He took the jab away from Klitschko. He outboxed him. He slowed the fight down. He did everything his way, okay? He showed that he and who he was, Tyson Fury, but he did that once and one time only. When the rematch came, before the rematch, he had a lot of other things that were bothering him at that point. You know, of course, he mentions mental illness, which is a thing that's a real thing. But then you could look at it another way. Well, maybe the pressure was on Tyson Fury. When they were doing the Beyond the Gloves, Tyson Fury was not that same type of person, you know, and he was a guy that eventually got out of that fight. You know, so obviously if you're taking controlled substances, illegal substances, you're not going to be able to fight. And I think he knew that. The nandrolone stuff didn't really come back until later in 2016, but he had already failed for cocaine. These are facts, people. The nandrolone didn't really come back until UCAD strangely went back to view what he recently done, which was strange because they had already gave their verdict in 2015. Now they turned around after the fact that he failed cocaine and said, you know what? Nah, it was nandrolone in high levels, so he had to be doing something, you know, to inject higher, to reflect higher levels of nandrolone. Okay, but what did it really mean? It meant that, hey, the pressure was maybe too much for him to do something that he then wants again, and then again and again. Well, what have we seen from Tyson Fury lately? Well, 2020, he shocked the world by taking out Deontay Wilder, dethroning him after 5 years, 10 title defenses. Then the next year, okay, a year and a half later, he does it again. Okay, he did it once in the 7th and again in the 11th. Now we have a shorter distance of time where now he's taking on Dillian White, and it was Alexander Usyk, and we heard the things that he wanted, and and a tune-up and this, that, and the other, because that was the next opponent. Alexander Usyk is the next available threat. Depends on what happens with him and AJ. That could all go away if AJ goes in and gets those belts back. Then that fight will be on. Okay? But that's neither here or there. Now he's taking on Dillian White. Then we hear Alexander Usyk is coming out of war, and now he's training, but now he'll be ringside for the fight to observe and report. And now we hear Tyson Fury saying, hey, look, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do this for the people. I want to turn off the social media. I don't want this lifestyle. Now, you could say that he's been there because of the anxiety of being in the pressure of being in that particular situation, of being the top guy. Because maybe that does something to his mental illness and makes him feel like he felt then. You could say that. But then you could also say, nah, we already know that Alexander Usyk will be there ringside, and the first thing you want to say is, I plan to quit. However, he did say and ponder on the idea of quitting. So my thing is, maybe Tyson Fury is a guy that's good at doing one thing at a time, and not consistently doing great things one after the other. Okay, and that's just like a person going to work every day and showing his family, like, I can keep doing this because I'm doing this constantly, like every working American or person in the world that's taking care of their family, providing for them. And he's constantly doing that. That's the real tough guy right there. That's the real person that should be admired. The person that consistently does things week after week, day after day, hour after hour for the greater good. Okay, so maybe Tyson Fury is not that person. So just leaving you guys with that, it's just too convenient that, hey, I'm gonna be off the grid, because he changed his mind before. And again, and for the last time, I don't believe that. But if he ups and retires after seeing Alexander Usyk in that ringside, knowing the unified heavyweight champion is out there looking at him, knowing he's there, and he decides to quit, that's going to make that seem very, very bad for Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on Tyson Fury stating that he would retire. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.